disagree with that, but you have to remember we're reading his journal. Go back and read your own journal if you read it. Is the main character someone else besides you? So if we're reading what he supposedly wrote, and during, this crisis that they're in, of course it's going to be centered around him, The other thing that I saw was, if you think about what does a zombie apocalypse mean and what's going on, if you wrote it as a documentary, it would be absolutely horrific and very upsetting and very depressing. If, however, you inject some humor into it, you can have a good time with it, right? Don't know if you've watched the movie Shaun of the Dead. That was a fantastic, lighthearted view of a zombie apocalypse. Loved the movie. So the other thing that I saw a parallel to is a few years ago I read Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut and absolutely loved the book. When I first started reading it, I was very confused by it because I'm like, man, the author sounds like he's crazy. He's talking about these aliens and traveling through time. And it took me a while before I realized that what Vonnegut was trying to do was he was talking about a deeply upsetting theme. He was talking about death, and he was talking about the horrific things that go on during a war. And instead of just talking about those things, because it would be very hard to digest that and deal with that, he kind of couched it in a more palatable way, putting some humor in there and treating it in a more lighthearted way so that he could talk about this subject without people going, I don't want to deal with that, and just rejecting it. And I think that in this book, I think Tufo does a similar thing. One of the criticisms of the book and of the main character is that he uses very adolescent humor. There are 2 references in the book to Monty Python. So that should really tell you all you need to know about the story. It's a lighthearted way of getting into a very dark genre.